Before I start this video, I just wanted to take a second to appreciate my mentor and friend who I've never trained with but has given me tons of solid advice over the years, James Albert Keating, the master at arms. He has done so much to help me on my journey to be an individual in a field where individuality is often frowned upon because you have to be part of a herd, you have to be part of a hierarchy, at least according to the cultural rules that we are handed in most martial arts systems. James Keating encouraged me to use my training as a vehicle to develop myself and do my own thing. This doesn't mean I'm not training under different gurus and grandmasters and masters. I respect them all, but I'm not buying the Kool-Aid. I'm not buying into the control issues that are rampant in martial arts. Another thing that Mr. Keating imparted on me is don't let other people's skill sets and ideals tell me what I can and can't do under pressure. That is for my exploration. And when I developed that attitude, I realized that there's a lot in Filipino martial arts that is very valuable as long as you can see past the surface. Things I do in Balintawak help me in that hand struggle at close range, whether I'm knife sparring, whether I'm stick sparring, or whether I'm boxing or doing Thai boxing. Balintawak helps all of those things when you know how to apply the skill sets outside of the drills. De Campo has really helped me in my power generation in strikes like hammer fists and just being able to throw an elbow with my entire body. De Campo is a great system for working on power generation. And it's a different type of power generation than we generally work on with our hip rotation and things like that. The other thing that Filipino martial arts offers is if you are a combatives guy and you miss your preemptive strike, or you end up recovering from an attack and everything's already happening, you're already in there, things like Balintawak, boxing, Thai boxing, clinching, and other traditional arts really help you have a higher level of skill sets that you can apply and react with. When people criticize systems like Medusa for their high level of violence, they don't take into consideration that you can scale use of force. And that level of force that you see us training there is only useful for lethal force encounters. And everyone who does it understands that. Most people who do it have backup skills, and those backup skills come from pugilism and martial arts. These skills are important. So while I believe for hand-to-hand fighting, Muay Thai probably has more to offer on the surface, combining it with Eskrima gives you a lot of broader skills, like using improvised weapons and some dirty tactics that are just not taught in sport fighting. But you need a good base, and sport fighting is one of the best bases to have if you want practical fighting skills. Boxing, Muay Thai, Judo, BJJ, all of these fighting arts that go hard. Now, the other thing about Filipino martial arts is a lot of it is play-based learning. The beauty of play-based learning is that our species is hardwired to learn that way, like all mammals. So when we're playing, having fun, doing drills, mixing it up, we tend to come back and learn some more because it's enjoyable. This is how most mammals train fighting skills, through play. Some birds, like crows and other corvids, also play. This playfulness also builds connection with other people. It builds trust to be able to spar with each other safely and push each other, often causing bruising, but never injury, or very rarely injury. We want to push each other. We want to help each other become a little bit tougher, but we don't want to hurt each other or injure each other. Sparring and other forms of combative play really builds friendships and relationships and a sense of community in a martial arts gym. This is one of the greatest benefits of Arnis or Eskrima or whatever label you give to your Filipino martial arts or your martial art in general. Filipino martial arts gives a high level of sensitivity and tactile information seeking when you get close. This translates to all forms of combat, all forms of fighting, and the latest studies on violence show that the clinch is the most important or most common fighting environment that you'll find yourself in. This is important that you find systems that teach you how to manipulate hands in this distance, because if weapons come out, controlling the hands becomes very important, because if you're dealing with a knife, you want to get a hold of that knife-wielding hand and do whatever it takes to get to safety. So while martial arts are not self-defense, they are not combatives, they really add to combatives. They give a higher level of skill that you can depend on if things go south from your combative tactics. If all I was interested in was being better at violence, I would have quit long ago. Training in Filipino martial arts and pugilism has given me something I can do for the rest of my life and enjoy it every single time I train.